Here we have a lesson in shape replication exercises from the Annie Art Academies. The first video that I'm going to show you with these exercises are shapes within a box that already include our notional space box to the side. In a future lesson, I will be showing you how to draw that notional space box around the shape and a new notional space box. To begin with, we will use construction lines to find the points of reference and anchor points of these shapes on our notional space box. For instance, if we would like to draw this shape here, we will take and continue this line straight through so that, as we've said before, a construction line will land on 2 points of our notional space box, which is here. So by drawing this line, extending it through, we can find where it lands on 2 points. From there, we will find our anchor point here and here to place it on our box here. To do that, it's the same as before. We will take a measurement from the corner of our notional space box over to our anchor point, and then bring that measurement over, check, recheck to make sure we're correct. From there, we'll take the vertical measurement, bring it across, mark it. Once marked, we will draw a line very lightly straight through to connect both anchor points. Yes, we know that this line stops somewhere in here, but we'll find where that stops when drawing our next line. So we will continue forward by looking for this line. And what we'll do again is continue this line segment straight through so that it reaches 2 spots on our notional space box. Please excuse some of the lines that I'm drawing. I'm reaching around the camera and it's a little difficult. Now from here, I'm going to try to find this anchor point. I'm going to use this corner down to that anchor point there. Once I find that, I'm going to check that just to be sure. Looks like I was a little long on that, so I'm going to shorten that up a touch. I erase. Then I will find this anchor point to that corner there. Continue through and draw my line. Again, keeping my line light, knowing that I'm going to erase all the extra. So now we have the left side, the bottom. We have to then find the top. Again, we will continue this straight through this line here so that it meets our notional space box. We will find our reference points. Go from this corner to the anchor there, mark there. This corner to our anchor there, mark here, and draw our line. We do want to make sure we draw straight through. Once we have that drawn, we can then go and erase our extra construction lines, like so. And there's our shape. We will then want to also clean that shape up and correct our line work. Even though we've gotten that shape, we're not quite finished there yet. We still need to find this line here. Once we figured that out, this actually becomes quite easy. It's acting as if it is just a construction line. So we go across, take our measurement, mark our notional space box, find our vertical, mark our notional space box, and then we will draw a line. Once this is complete, we can then go through and erase and make corrections where needed. Notice again, I'm using the side of my pencil. I won't always use the side of my pencil, but at the beginning of the process, we'd like to use the side of our pencil so we don't incise into the paper and make it difficult to erase later. And there is our shape replication. I will do one more example for you just to give you some help. So we have this object here. We want to replicate that shape. You can really choose where you'd like to start in this exercise. However, I'm going to start with where I find it the easiest. I'm going to start with this line here. We already have an anchor point for that line there and here, so it's pretty simple. We have to just find the second anchor point on the notional space box. There we are there. And connect. Let's look for this vertical. We're going to take our top measurement, find that. Now you don't want to assume that your bottom is the same because this line could be perfectly vertical or it could be on an angle. So we want to take our second measurement there. Once we have that, we can then draw our lines. Luckily, because we have that construction line and this construction line, it's actually quite easy to find this construction line because we've already marked off these two anchor points. So that's just as easy as connecting those. From there, we have this triangular shape here. In order to find that shape properly, we'll do a process very similar to what we did here. We're going to take this line, extend it straight through. We know we have an anchor point here at this corner, which relates here. All we need to do now is find our second anchor point on the notional space box. Mark that, draw our line. We then continue this line out. We can find those two measurements, anchor points from our notional space box. Oh, that one's a little further. Connect those two. Come back and erase the construction lines that we do not need any longer. Cleaning up all of our lines. And there is our second one. Unfortunately here I'm having a difficult time with this line because reaching around the camera is kind of tough, but I think you get the picture. You will find as you progress in these shape replication exercises, you will find some with curves. And in order to find those curves, you just follow this process. In addition to the last video we did on the using straight lines and construction lines and a notional space box to find curved lines. Same process. And I hope that you keep your lines light. I've drawn mine a little darker than I typically like, so it picks up on the camera, but you can see here that these little ghost lines show up. So we want to keep them light until the very end of the process, and really focus on using these construction lines through our shapes. And as we use them and we replicate them here, once we're finished with those construction lines, we want to remove them. If we have too many construction lines that aren't being used on actual shapes within, you'll find it becomes very confusing. So as you use a construction line and you know it ends, it's important to then eliminate the sections that we don't need. Hopefully this helps you, and hopefully it helps you move forward. Enjoy.